And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the PiGosaur Monday number 13. I'm, of course, your side VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. !B in the chat. If you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves, the bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and we have our first match of the night. We're going to be jumping into a TvT between Percival and Volarious. And before I get ahead of myself, everyone, Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve. Oh my god, Pappy. Again, we are so close to the end of the year. And as I was mentioning previously in the chat, we do have some show matches scheduled 10 hours from now. 10 hours from now, we're going to be hosting some show matches, and they will be leading us into the new year. Let's go. Let us go. I think we're going to announce them momentarily, at least on social media, but we're going to be hosting 3 best of 5s. We're going to be hosting a best of 5 between Hon Mono and 3 Point in StarCraft Evolution as a nice way to kind of end off the StarCraft Evolution phase of 2024. Likewise, we have a European show match between Eva and Jimmy, aka for Jimmy, in a PvP or PvZ. We'll see what that does entail. And we also have an NA show match at the end of the night featuring Estrella and Trigger. Oh boy, so we have a show match for the Korean scene, for the European scene, and for the American scene as well. Again, that is going to be at the end of the night. That's going to be in 10 hours time. Until then, we have the final PiGosaur Monday of 2024. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing himself, currently teamless, the returning, otherwise retired player. It is Percival. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the other green Terran player, the other Terran player, the green Terran, I should say. It is Volarious, aka Santa, Papi Santa. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Papi, it is Gamba time. It is Gamba time. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat, as we do have a proxy being set up across the map. Also, as we said, Lynn, a big shout out to Ryu. Oh my god, Ryu, Papi. Oh my god, a fellow Cranky Duckling, the Peruvian Zerg player living in the land of Italy, was laddering previously in the lead up to this tournament. So I hope you had a great time. Hope you had a great ladder session as well. Gracias, Papi, gracias. Thank you so much for the raid, and hope you had a great time. Hope you had a good stream. And welcome one and all to the PiGosaur Monday. Again, this is a weekly open tournament catered towards the NA time zone. It is very late in Europe. If you happen to be in Europe, then 1, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. 2, go to bed. It's like what, like 2 a.m. It's like what, it's like midnight, 2 a.m. in the morning. It's quite late in the land of Europa. That is also why we do give a lot of praise to the European players that play in this tournament as well, because we know that it is just at a really bad hour. And European players that make it further in this tournament, they play until like what, 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. in the morning, depending on where they are in the world. It's not ideal. it's not the most ideal time slot for the European players, so big shout out to those that do compete. They are full D-Gen. The D-Gen's bad. Yeah. As we do see Senna getting across the map. Sorry, Percival. I assumed it was going to be a proxy Rax, if you recall, but no, the SCV did just stay idle here across the map instead. And my apologies, I wasn't quite paying attention, but Senna, or aka Volarious, is going to be opening up back at home, going for the initial Rax. Early eBay, safety bunker as well. A bit of an over preparation here from Senna, and this is gonna set him behind. Now, shout out to Senna, of course. Senna is more of an amateur. Oh god, Senna is more of an amateur player up against an ex-pro in Percival, so this is gonna be a heavily one-sided series in favor of Percival. But again, a big shout out to Senna. Best of luck. Again, unfortunately, is falling behind early on because of their opener. The opener is not the most efficient, and the game may just end with these 2 Reapers. Unironically, the Reapers, they have arrived, they get into the middle line, SCVs are going down one after the other, and are there any units to defend? The answer is no. There are 0 units here, so things are looking very bleak here for Volarious, for Senna, as every worker is going to go down. We have a couple of Reens on the way. Senna may just lift and just float the buildings away. I'm hoping that that is not the case, that we've just forced Percival to destroy the buildings, as every SCV has gone down. Every SCV has fallen. Yes, there are now 2 Marines. There are some units to work with, and they can try to fight back against the Reapers. They do fill up at that bunker. We can now unload the CC. But again, at this point, Senna is it's not going to be quite possible for him to bounce back in this game again. And this game really does show us and really does solidify the importance of these openers. I mean, it's also why you could argue that SC2, I mean, it is a very unforgiving game. It's very unforgiving, especially once you get into the competitive scene. But there's a reason why build orders do exist, and again, as I did mention before, Senna did invest quite heavily here into buildings and structures that don't really come into play and don't really assist. I'm referring to the bunker, I'm referring to the eBay, I'm referring to the later factory as well, and the skipping of the initial units, whether it's Reaper, whether it's Marine. Just a really shaky start here from Senna, and Percival, which is a much more standard opener. I mean, it's just pulling him apart at this point. It's just pulling him apart. We have the Aliens rocking up the other side as well. Reapers, they try to give some high ground vision. Alas, Percival cannot quite break down or break through this front door, not yet, especially with the bunker on the high ground, but Percival doesn't need to. Back at home, 1-1-1, we have our tank follow-up as well, and once the tank arrives, once we have some high ground vision with the Raven, of course, then Percival can knock down that front door and bust into the main. Oh boy. So Percival is looking to clear, or is looking to wrap things up. It does get into the mineral line once again. I mean, we have a handful of SCVs prioritizing gas saturation or minerals, which means, unfortunately, Senna can't quite produce anything. He's going to try to keep up the Marines that can be kited down by those Reapers. And unfortunately, there's just not much else to work with here, down to one remaining SCV. And again, we're just waiting for Percival to push up that ramp, and here he comes. It's going to be knocking down that front door. Percival back at home getting a third CC on location. And again, is able to secure himself here. Takes down the bunker. Shuts down the Marines. And from here, there is nothing left. And again, I'm hoping that we don't force... I was about to say that I'm hoping that we don't force Percival to hunt down every building and to hunt down all the floating CCs. This is going to force Percival to produce Vikings. But there it is. We do get the GG, and Percival will take game number 1. GG. Percival does take lead, and again, Percival is going to be the heavy favorite coming into this. Again, for those who are maybe unaware, and especially for those that maybe are new viewers to StarCraft, Percival, he was a competitive player back a couple of years ago. He was definitely an up-and-comer in the Korean scene. When I think of Percival, you know, I think of up-and-comers like Chance, I think of, you know, your Honmonos, your Quantas, your Farmies, players of that nature. I do rate Percival maybe a little bit higher than them, maybe a little bit higher. He also used to stream very often. He used to stream very often on Twitch, and used to stream and used to be quite prevalent, at least there as well. But then Percival retired. He did retire, I want to say at the start of the year. Like at the start of the year, he did take a step back. He stopped competing, and only over the past, I want to say 2 weeks, maybe almost 3 weeks now, Percival has returned. And we have even asked Percival, and he has let us know as well that he is, well, that Percival, he is just playing casually. You know, he enjoys the game, he loves the game, and he devoted a lot of his life to the game as well. And nowadays he's not necessarily committing as much time as he used to. Now, of course, he has other commitments, IRL. He's got an IRL job. He's not doing this full time anymore. So he's just playing more casually, but still, you know, regaining his skill, I should say. Over the past couple weeks, like, Percival has been getting better and better over time, and we'll see if he can get back to where he once was. We shall see. As we're now getting into game number 2. Getting into game 2. If I knew I was going to play Deej in hours, I'd probably try to snag a nap pre-tourney. I mean, these are Deejans, papi. You say nap pre-tournament, they wake up at like, what, like 4 or 5 p.m.? So it's good for them. You know, they're this is like middle of the day for those in Europe, I guess, for the competitors in Europe, I would say. They typically wake up a little bit later. I think it's known that Clem and Max Packs, they usually wake up, unironically, at around like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. sort of thing. At around that time zone, or that time slot. But regardless, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran leading the series 1-0, and again is the favorite player to make it through into the next round. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Green Terran player. Down in the series, this time committing to a proxy Rax, I want to believe it is Volarious, aka Senna. And we have potential here. There we go. The Raxes are being thrown down. Unfortunately, these Raxes are late. They're a little bit late here as Senna does pull 3 SCVs across the map. Meanwhile, Percival going for his own proxy 2 Rax. Much more efficient here. And I'll be honest, I think Percival straight up wins. The problem here is that Percival his Rax was thrown down immediately. I don't know if you noticed, but Senna waited until he had 300 minerals or over 300 minerals before starting the first Rax. So this Rax is heavily delayed. And it may not sound like a lot of time, but it's like, what, a good like 10 plus seconds late. This means that Reapers can bust into the main and there is nothing at home to defend. There is nothing back at home. Also, I don't know if you noticed, no gases, which means this should be proxy Marine. The gases are very late here, so it shouldn't be Reaper, should be Marine instead. They're a lot slower. They're a lot slower to move out across the map, a lot slower to actually engage here in the main. So we should end up in a pseudo base trade. Oh, as he's floating in? He's floating in, and on the one hand this is cool, but on the other hand, again, delays the production. This delays the production, this delays the units. Meanwhile, the first Reaper is about to pop out as he does sneak into the main base. And again, there is nothing at home to defend. So, once again, I'm not too fond of the eBay. I feel like I'm casting Yaku from like 2017, not gonna lie. Yaku used to do this as well, back when he was gold/platinum. Yaku would often open up early eBay in a lot of matchups. So here we go. We do have our Reapers hitting the main. All the SVs are going to go down. Marine production has begun, but we do see a bunker on the way here for Percival. He has recognized how much danger he's in, and he should be rallying back home. Again, for Percival, it's all going to be all about buying time for his army to race back. SCVs do go down. Here come the... No, they're stuck! No, are they? I think they can squeeze out. I think this one on the right-hand side is stuck, though. Actually, it's close. I hope they're not. I hope they're not trapped. And I hope that they're able to all make it out. Okay, we're good. I was real concerned for a moment. But here we go. Marines, they have arrived. They make their way into the main. Boys are being pulled. Reapers are racing back home. A lot of SCVs are going down. The bunker is done, but we need to fill up the bunker. This bunker takes a lot of hits, so we should get a repair off. There we go, the bunker is saved. And the Reapers, they do make it back. They just rush into the bunker. And with that, Percival, he will defend. He will shut this down completely. And across the map, there's no economy. There is no economy. And yeah, that's just all we had left. 5 SCVs remaining here for Senna. Percival, he's happily mining on a full 1-base economy. We'll force the lift of these Raxes, and now it's going to be on Percival to get across the map, to wreak havoc, to clean up all these SCVs. Behind this, it might be worth going into a fast starport, into Viking production, again, to hunt down floating buildings. We saw that, thankfully, that wasn't the case last game, that Senna didn't force Percival to destroy everything, but, I mean, still, it might be safe enough to kind of have that precaution. As Reapers, they get across the map. They hunt down every SCV. And from here, they should be able to clean up all the buildings as well. And yeah, from here, thankfully, Percival is getting the starport. And there we go. We have the... Well done. GG. We have the well done. We have the GG. As the eBay is going to be burning down. We went full Yaku. And Percival will take the series 2-0. We'll advance on into the next round. GG. GG. GG, well played. And again, a shout out to Volarious, aka Senna, for of course competing here tonight. Again, as a reminder, this event is open to all. Doesn't matter if you're bronze, doesn't matter if you're silver, diamond, gold, platinum, masters, doesn't matter what league you are, where you are from. These tournaments are open to all players, so you can take part, and you can even play against some of your favorite players. I always remember back in the day, like back in 2016, 2017, back when I was diamond, I used to play against like Innovation, like every single week. I play against Innovation, play against Ryung, specifically in the Lima League. I play in the Lima League just for fun, you know. It wouldn't be just be myself, it'd be Yaku, it'd be Kuro. A lot of the Wikipedia admins would play as well. just as a fun event to play against some of your favorite players out there. And yeah, it was always a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun. Likewise, you can do so here as well with events like the PiGosaur Monday, like our open tournaments, the Wardy TV Mondays, and the previous ESL Open Cups as well. Open to all. Open to all. So big shout out here to Senna. Big shout out to Volarious, as is going to be knocked out of the tournament. And now we can have a look at the bracket and figure out where we're headed and where we are going next.